Hey everyone, it's me. I'm really sorry I can't be there for presentations tonight, but I'm sure you're all going to do amazing. I thought the appropriate response to my situation, given the nature of theories of composition and its valuing of various literacies as composing, would be to learn a new literacy and make a video of myself presenting. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my visual, give me 2 seconds, and then we're going to get started. For this final project, I've attempted to develop a continuum of knowledge about transfer, specifically for the audience of writing tutors, and my reasons for doing that are as follows. A lot of the studies about transfer have been done in a classroom context, and while I don't think that is irrelevant for writing centers, I also think they need to pay attention to how transfer might function differently in their context. In addition, the writing center professionals talking about transfer have more or less targeted an audience of writing center directors or researchers, and while tutors might become those things, we want to kind of build them up to that. So I've developed a continuum. My challenge here was to, highlight the complex nature of transfer and kind of distill the existing information without flattening any of that complexity. I mean, there is a lot to know on transfer. So for me, this was a real challenge, having not known anything about transfer really before doing this project. So I've developed this continuum that moves from knowledge that is vital for tutors to know to knowledge that, while it is still relevant and important to transfer, is not absolutely essential. We're going to start with our most vital area of knowledge, that being that transfer is important to writing centers. It fits into our mission to make better writers. It promotes professional development among tutors and allows them to kind of transfer those things. A really important point is that tutoring course knowledge does transfer to other academic and professional contexts. Driscoll specifically notes that metacognition, interpersonal skills, and writing skills all transfer to various contexts. And, I think this is the most important because tutors might not even know that transfer is important to writing centers. This might also help, build a positive kind of sentiment towards transfer and, again, showing them that it has use within a writing center. My second area is definitions and frameworks. The two frameworks that I think are most important for tutors to know are Nowacek's idea that transfer kind of functions as a recontextualization. This highlights the value of different knowledges. This highlights the role of affect in transfer. This also, highlights the importance of genre in transfer. She specifically refers to it as an exigence of transfer. And this also shows that transfer can have positive or negative effects, or I would, add any range between those things in a new context. Yancey, Robertson, and Taxac also develop 3 uses of prior knowledge, this being assemblage, where new knowledge is not integrated, but instead just kind of, stuck onto prior knowledge. We have remix, where the two are integrated successfully and put together, and they kind of change each other. And then we have the critical setback, where prior knowledge kind of, fails to provide success in a new context. And I think that one in particular is important because we might be seeing a lot of those students in the writing center. My reason for putting this here is that it provides structure for transfer, and it also values diversity in thinking and in knowledge making, which again is important to helping writers become better writers. My third area, we're in the center of the continuum now, that's conscious enactment. This is more or less helping students build connections consciously between different contexts and different writing situations. Similarities and differences are a good place to start. The research also suggests things like modeling transfer or showing how your contexts might be useful to the current writing assignment, and also noting the similarities and differences. Asking questions specifically about how this writing assignment is similar to the ones that a student has done in the past is also helpful, and this enables transfer to occur perhaps more effectively in writing center sessions. Our fourth area, again, we're moving towards the important but not vital end of the continuum. Our tutors' roles in transfer. I've pulled these directly from Nowacek, and although she discusses these as they relate to the role of instructor, I think they're also important for tutors to know. They sometimes act as subject experts, they move between disciplines and kind of disrupt knowledge in a productive way, and they help students, to quote Nowacek, see and sell connections. This is more or less a matter of tutoring persona. Having that idea of roles might help them better facilitate transfer, again, by creating a persona that is conducive to that. The final point I have here is that, there are factors affecting transfer. A lot of these have to do with perceptions and attitudes towards writing, specifically thinking that writing and composition is completely disparate from writing within the disciplines. I've added here that tutors' attitudes and perceptions of the student, of the context of writing, disciplinary writing versus composition writing, might also play a role there. And this more or less is helpful in that it tells tutors when to facilitate transfer and, hopefully helps them realize that when a student is completely resistant, it, might be a bit more challenging to do. There are 3 implications for this. The first being that, knowing about transfer does not guarantee that transfer will occur. Again, we might encounter that in our sessions. Tutors can also use, this transfer in their own writing and outside, but also that this continuum is not a static body of knowledge. I'm hoping that writing centers will use this as a starting point and that tutors can build, some of those more complex frameworks onto this, and that perhaps even that institutions or directors will alter this continuum depending on the needs of their own institutions and their own populations. Thanks again for listening to my presentation this evening. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to receiving all of your feedback. If you look right up there, you should see my email address. Again, thank you for a wonderful semester. Thank you for your understanding, and have a wonderful night.